Good evening and welcome to the first semi-final of the 1982 KB Cup, a match that will see either South Sydney or Newtown progress to the Cup final here in a fortnight. Tonight's winning team will take away $20,000, the losers $5,000, but of course to win tonight and to win the Cup final will see that club $111,000 richer. So it's the Rabbitohs versus the Jets. South Sydney came to this semi-final as defending Cup champions with wins over Norths 18-10, a draw with Penrith and Balmain 19-2. Souths have been one of the more successful Cup sides since its inception in '74, having made the quarters 5 times, and this is their third semi-final with a Cup win last year. Souths, unfortunately tonight, are without at least 6 of their regular first graders and appear grossly under strength for tonight's clash. Names like Walsh, Brennan, Wright and Murray are just a few of those not listed on your screen. On the credit side, rather incredibly, tonight marks the reappearance after 9 weeks of Michael Patterson, who broke both collarbones representing City against Country. Well, Newtown came to the semi-final with wins over Canterbury 26-5, Queensland Country 43-2 and Cronulla. And their record in Cup football has not been anywhere near as rewarding as South, but they did make the quarters and semi-finals in 1981. The Jets tonight field almost their strongest team, and as a testimony to that comment, you only need to look at their reserve list of Wilson, O'Brien, Gould, and the other reserve tonight is John Mackay to appreciate just how strong their lineup is for tonight's game. Our special guest commentator is John Gray, the North Sydney hooker, and we'll be back for the kick-off for the first semi-final in just a moment.
So the referee for tonight's match, just back from Papua New Guinea, where he refereed their test match against New Zealand last weekend, is John Gosha. Souths are going to run from left to right, and significant to note that Ken Stewart is not on the field, but Mario Fennick is the man given the responsibilities of trying to get the ball for the South Sydney side at the scrums. First man coming back for Newtown is Ron Sigsworth, the brother of Bill, and he's put down about 8 metres out from his own 22. Bugden, the hooker, giving it to Pittman. Only a short run, but Souths in there quickly. Patterson was in that first tackle, probably keen to take a hit very early on. Here's Ellis making a fine run for Newtown, and not Rodonicus, but Murphy follows him through.
Gee, but a bad defensive lapse then from Melrose. He just stood there and watched him go past him.
Well, referee Gosha has penalised Souths for I thought I was going to say not being onside, but he's penalised the actual marker for not standing in line with the man playing the ball. The man was certainly onside, there's no question about that. If you'd like to see it again quickly on the replay, Alan McMahon will take this kick for touch. So McMahon taking the kick for touch and finding it on the 22 line. Here's that incident, and he's given the penalty against the South Sydney player. I'm not quite sure whether he got him for offside or whether in fact he wasn't standing in line with the man playing the ball. So it's Newtown on the attack just outside the South Sydney 22, and Steve Bowden it is who takes it ahead in the opening seconds of the first semi-final. Rodonicus on the right calling it, that's him with it now. O'Grady himself coming across to Newtown from the Magpies with Rodonicus. Here is Rodonicus again, and now Cole Murphy goes up, but Hambley meets him and puts him down on the 22-way line. Right in front of the uprights. From dummy half runs Ron Sigsworth. His brother playing in the pivot position tonight. The 5th for Newtown. And Phil puts up the bomb. I believe Graham and McMahon are both offside. And this is Souths coming away with it, but it's a penalty given by John Gosha. And that is a very good ruling, because there was no doubt in my mind both Graham and McMahon were marginally offside when the ball was kicked. No scent there of offside play, but it happened when they were in front of the kicker. They must stay 5 metres away from the man playing at the ball.
Yes, there was certainly no doubt in Gosha's ruling. It was probably just a little unfortunate for Souths, though, that he didn't hesitate just that fraction longer, because Ross did get a clear run up that left-hand touchline.
So it's now with Coleman and Patterson. And coming up and losing it, very valuable possession turned down there by the lock forward, Shane Arneal. So immediately Souths are back under pressure as Bowden goes ahead to the 22 line and tackled by Shane Arneal. Fennick was in the tackle, so was Tunks. And here's Rodonicus now, slipping a pass away to Ellis, who made that fine bust in the early part. And now it's gone quickly through Sigsworth to Bugden, the hooker, dragged down 8 metres out and played there. Rodonicus out to O'Grady, onto the centre, Lance, and onto McMahon. A giant step off the right foot, but he runs back into the cover, and he'll play at 12 metres out from the line. Dean Lance playing in the centres these days, with Michael Ryan on the injured list. O'Grady, a short ball for Murphy, to be tackled by Fennick, playing in jumper number 18. Last tackle now for the Jets, and it goes back for the shot by Sigsworth for drop goal. Charged down by South, and it's played on and picked up by Ferguson. And they've got 6 more tackles, says referee Gosha. So it's John Ferguson playing it to Phil Sigsworth. Pittman goes up to the 22 again, and Souths have been asked to weather all the attack here in the opening 4 minutes of play. Ellis goes up, runs into Tunks's shoulder, and is tackled right in centre ground on that line, which is the 22. Bowden tries to run from dummy half, cut down by Fennick. Dummy half is Bugden. Mark, the younger brother of Jeff Bugden, former Newtown player. Rodonicus down 7 metres inside the 22 line. Last tackle again for the Jets. Sigsworth again the player to watch. This man. Up goes the bomb. A good one. Niscott playing at fullback tonight. Tested. He went up. Did they play at the ball or at Niscott? It's a penalty to Newtown right in front of the upright. South's offside. Be interesting to see it again. The penalty to Newtown right in front of the sticks. And it would seem a presentation 2-pointer is simply there for the taking. Niscott goes up probably at the right time. I must admit, I doubt that Newtown player who came through, I don't think at any time did he play at the ball. I believe he went in to play Niscott, and he did. And it would not have surprised me, honestly, if Niscott had have been given a penalty for South. As it turned out, it came off him to a South Sydney player standing offside, and that was the penalty.
Newtown have certainly shown their hand, though, even in these opening 5 minutes, because they're driving up the middle through their forwards, working off Tommy Rodonicus, the big men, Bowden and Ellis, Murphy and Pittman in particular. They're the ones that are going to be carrying a tremendous responsibility for Newtown out there this evening.
So Sigsworth now. The easiest of kicks for him. Makes no mistake. And Newtown lead in the first semi-final of the KB Cup for 1982 by 2 points to 0. After 5 3/4 minutes gone, their coach Warren Ryan sipping on some coffee on a fairly chilly night here in Sydney. Very still night. The ground fairly well accommodated as far as the Latcham Robinson stand is concerned. Ron Sigsworth brings it back. And play is 32 metres out from the Newtown line. Bugden, prominent in the early exchanges, will play it back to fullback Sigsworth. Out to Rodonicus. Now to Murphy, running with great gusto. Pulled down by Hambley and Fennick, together with Arneal. And now it's for Rodonicus to Phil Sigsworth. And now a short ball for Pittman, lurking out in the centres. Patterson was around his legs, and so was Melrose there. And now it's to Sigsworth and Rodonicus. Murphy's on his outside. That pass looked forward inside to Sigsworth, onto his brother Ron, who's tackled a metre on the south side of the halfway mark. Bowden is the dummy half. Sigsworth runs with it, and then is tackled around the legs by Fennick, who's getting through more than his share of defence. And this scrum will go down a shade on the South Sydney side of halfway.
And Souths are being called on to do plenty of defending too, because Newtown controlling the ball particularly well in this opening 6 or 7 minutes. And I think that Ziggy Niscott is going to come in for a lot of attention too. We've already seen him under pressure from 2 high bombs. And I should imagine that whenever Newtown get into a kicking position, it's going to go up, and Niscott is going to be under a lot of pressure.
O'Grady, the ball carrier, will play the ball out. Rodonicus, Pittman had a little bit of a juggle at it. Patterson was around the legs. Fennick again was in the tackle. Rodonicus goes up. And Newtown, no chance of making the 5 in the Sydney Premiership, throwing everything into this KB Cup semi-final at the moment. Last tackle for them again. Out to Steve Bowden, who takes it ahead. And a scrum 32 metres out from the South Sydney line, with good ball control from Newtown. They've had it now probably for something like 30 tackles at least, maybe 36 tackles. And kept it for all 6 without a mistake. South, I think, may have won this scrum. They have, as Coleman comes the open side. He's swallowed up in defence by Phil Sigsworth. And now he's lost the ball, and a penalty goes to the South Sydney side. Tonight, I was about to say fresh from their victory over Parramatta, but that would be completely wrong. They couldn't be anything else other than jaded after a magnificent exhibition of rugby league at Redfern on Sunday. Fennick to Coleman. Coleman to Tunks, who played such a big role in South's winning the cup here against Cronulla last August. And now it's to Coleman, now to Hambley. Hambley takes it to the halfway. Still, Patterson hasn't been seen in possession of the ball. He's only had to defend so far. Coleman, and here's a cutout of Patterson to Melrose. And then coming up was the wing three-quarter Mark Ross. 5 metres on the south side of the halfway now. 2-0 to Newtown. And here is Patterson, switching it inside for Tunks. And he'll play it without any gain in ground. The Newtown defence holding tight. And so South's seeing the Newtown half for the first time. Coleman, a cutout of Gibbs, sending Simpkins into an opening. He got a pass away to Patterson, backing up. He floats it out, and going with the ball is Brown. Brown heading for the corner. Inside for Niscott. Further inside for Arneal. That is a superb try, and that even could be a golden try. That could be worth a time in Volvo. That is a beautiful try. Yes, and I don't think I'm exaggerating this time.
No, it certainly was. And the player most prominent, of course, was Patterson. He spotted the opportunity of throwing that long looping pass out to Brown. It was gleefully accepted, and then the South Sydney players backed up in support. And it'll come up good on camera.
What a magnificent try. Simpkins, Patterson, cutting out Niscott perfectly to the winger, Stan Brown. Then he looks on the inside and knows he's got Niscott in there. And that pass was beautifully over the tops of the heads. Niscott knew he couldn't go on with it. And backing up was Shane Arneal to score the try to send South to 3, Newtown to 2. Boy, was that a good one.
Yes, it certainly was, and obviously South Sydney are looking to spin the ball out wide, because I shouldn't imagine that they would want to take on Newtown in the forwards. Newtown particularly strong there in that area of the field, and that's a great start for Souths, because they'd been under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Here's the attempted conversion to be taken by a prolific point scorer, Tony Melrose. We'll show you the head-on of the try after the attempted conversion. So then, an easy one for Melrose. Raises the flag, and South leads by 5 points to 2 at the 11 1/4 minute mark, first quarter. Head on it went this way. That man was Coleman. This is Simpkins. That's the bust. And then Patterson said, let me have it. And this long ball did a lot of good. It got it to that extremity to Brown, who galloped away from O'Grady. Ron Sigsworth across in cover. The infield pass beat 2 more men. And then a slip from Niscott to Arneal. And so we come back to the action live at Leichhardt now. South in possession on their own 22, centre ground. Hambley. Fennick. Clear it, says South, and Melrose puts the kick in. A high one down to Ron Sigsworth. South's all offside, and they've got to stay outside the 5.
What a tremendous advantage that is for a player that's able to kick with both feet, because they got up very quickly on Melrose then and edged him away to the left-hand side. But he's a very talented player, and that was a great left-footed kick then that drove play back downfield. A lot of other players would have been caught in possession.
O'Grady's pass, a beauty to Ferguson, and what a magnificent winger this fellow is. First opportunity to stand his man up and go around him, and he did just that. Under a cloud, Ferguson, for this match prior to the game. Bowden to play it, 10 metres his side of halfway. Rodonicus, a short ball for Ellis. And around his legs there was Arneal. Halfway line on your screen. 5-2 to South. Rodonicus, Phil Sigsworth, shooting for touch. And that should find it. Niscott's across. He's got it covered. Niscott now. Representative winger, playing full-back. Neatly tackled and parcelled up by Dean Lance. Normally a 5'8", playing in the centres. Brown, the man who scored that important try on Sunday and who played a big part in that try we just saw. Out to Coleman. This man is the fellow who made the bust originally, Simpkins. Dummy half Fennick. Melrose to clear. That torpedo punt looks a bit full. Well out. And a scrum in a dangerous position for South inside their own 22. Tony wouldn't be happy with that kick.
No, he's a little bit too adventurous, wasn't he? He had plenty of open space down there to get the ball well away from on Sigsworth, but obviously looking for touch and just got it up in the air a bit too much. He doesn't make too many mistakes in that area too. He's a very talented kicker of the ball.
Can we get a wide shot quickly, Rob? South's back line is so flat. In fact, look at them. They're looking at each other. They can see the whites of their eyes. They're close, these two sets of backs.
Well, I certainly agree with South's formation there, but I couldn't agree with Newtown's. I think they could have been much deeper.
And so as if tonight isn't big, next Wednesday just as big, if not bigger. The second semi-final of the KB Cup brings together teams 1 and 2 in the Premiership, Parramatta and Manly, and the curtain raiser to that game in the Commonwealth Bank Cup is Ryde Holy Cross, defending champions, up against Parramatta Marist High. So it should be a big night next Wednesday here at Leichhardt. And now here's Michael Patterson. Peter Tunks, a slip of a pass, and I thought Melrose might have been on his way, but that was a good tackle there by Cole Murphy. Or was it in fact Mal Graham, the winger? It was, who came in. Fennick now will play at 5 into Newtown territory. Coleman, Patterson. Patterson looking to pop it, but he's put it down. And so it's Newtown in possession. Played by Pittman. Pass to Bowden. The man around the legs was Shane Arneal. Here's Rodonicus. Now O'Grady. Inside for Phil Sigsworth. Rodonicus. Pittman. Pittman. Midway, 22 halfway. South end of the ground. Just under 5 minutes. First quarter remaining. Rodonicus. Murphy. Last tackle coming up for the Jets now. Sigsworth may put it up. Here he is. Holds it up and takes the tackle. At the end of the first quarter tonight, we'll have TV Ticker Box, the competition inspired by Tooth & Company, with all those fabulous $80,000 worth of prizes to be won. As Souths come up with the scrum, and Coleman is tackled and bundled to the ground like a bag of chaff. Patterson. Niscott. Good tackle that by Alan McMahon. Patterson and Simpkins are swapping in defence. Simpkins, the inside centre, goes in and goes to the defensive position when Souths aren't in possession, obviously. A lot of workload being taken off Michael Patterson. The talk in the room was, don't try and do too much. Just get through it if you can. Rodonicus, Graham, McMahon, Sigsworth. Coleman's got him. 32 metres out from the Newtown line. 3 minutes, first quarter to go. Mal Graham now. Flung to the ground by Coleman and Tunks. Dummy half Bugden. This was Rodonicus. Ahead with 2 men running, but safely held there by Hambley. Now it's O'Grady. A switch for Sigsworth. Murphy's with him. Steps inside. Taken by the cover. That's the halfway line. Well, you can't see it. It's about 3 metres in front of him. Now you can. There's the score line. 5-2. South leading. 2.5 to go. The kick for McMahon. I won't talk about the size of kickers in Sydney League anymore. It seems to attract the attention of coaches. Niscott now. 32 metres out from the South line. Here's Simpkins. Now Coleman. Now Patterson. Now Melrose. I interviewed Melrose this morning for Eyewitness News. And I can tell you, he was wearing a smile on his face to think that Michael Patterson was back. Fennick turning it away for Simpkins to nearly get through, but that Newtown cover's got him. Cutting out Tunks a long ball. Arneal is tackled. 28 metres away from the south line. Running with it, Mario Fennick, whose tackle count in the first quarter has been quite astronomical. Number 10 is Nathan Gibbs, tackled on the end of 6. Nathan leading the side tonight. And so what an important 1.5 minutes left in this first quarter. A scrum win for Newtown, and they could go to the first break in front. Souths have got it. Coleman, held by Rodonicus. Much bigger of the two halfbacks is Rodonicus. There goes Shane Arneal, just pinching 10 metres out to the 32 line. Just over a minute of the first quarter remaining. Patterson. That man is Mark Ross. Australian schoolboy, came to Souths from Penrith. Fennick. Coleman. 13 is Bryant, but he's back in possession now. The referee has ruled a knock on. I'll be honest with you, I thought South should have got a penalty because Nathan Gibbs was not in possession and he was simply being held out of the game. So this scrum, 27 metres out from the south line, and a penalty differential to Newtown. Incorrect feed against Coleman. Penalty count, 3-3, scrum, Souths 4, Newtown 1. Scoreline, Souths 5, Newtown 2. 12 seconds to go. Newtown will have to put the bomb up. Bugden giving it to Sigsworth, which indicates that's what he's about to do. So here it is from Sigsworth. The drop punt, not as full as we would have thought, and Coleman has run it across the touchline in goal. So it's coming across for the restart, but Gosha says we don't need it. And that's the end of the first 20 minutes, and an exciting 20 at that. 5-2 in favour of South Sydney. All right, let's now take a look at TV ticker box for this week. And tonight, another lucky viewer will have the chance of winning one of the great prizes from Tooth & Company. Here's the second quarter coming up of what already has unfolded into a most interesting first KB Cup semi-final. The Rabbits, defending champions, just waiting for their cheer squad to leave the ground, running left-right, leading 5-2. I didn't hear that interview with John Gray at quarter time. What did he think of that try, Keith?
He thought it was a great try, and probably one that North Sydney have been able to put together on many occasions this year.
Yes, I thought he would have said that.
But it was certainly a superb effort.
So here's Newtown with the place kick from the centre of the 22. And taking it up is Big Steve Bowden. Cut down around the legs by Shane Arneal, who, by golly, he's done some tackling already. This is Dean Lance making a step and a bit of a break. 32 metres out from their line now, the Jets. Bowden, short pass to Pittman. Rodonicus, Sigsworth, Lance. Good tackle. Ellis was about to start moving, but Simpkins had him. Penalty to Newtown. Good ruling by Gosha. I'm not aware. Are we keeping an error count at the moment? I don't think Newtown's made one error.
No, they haven't been under a great deal of pressure, though. They made the one error when they allowed Simpkins to make that half break, didn't they?
No,
they certainly haven't made any errors with the ball. I know exactly what you mean, but this is their game, isn't it? This is Newtown's game. They control possession extremely well. They graft away, take the opportunities when they present themselves, and they're prepared to get into the quarter and put up the bomb. We haven't seen anything from Ferguson yet, and he's the player that does set Newtown alight.
Here's Pittman making a charge outside Sigsworth. The position on the field where Pittman is most explosive. Here's Sigsworth again, beating Hambley, but he comes again, the big man, with some help and puts him down. Sigsworth will be keen to have a big one tonight against Patterson. Shane O'Neill on his haunches, getting back into position rather slowly. I think he and Hambley may have clashed heads as Newtown continue to pummel the attack onto the blind side. And here's the last tackle now for the Sigsworth kick. And getting underneath it is Niscott. Oh, nicely taken, Niscott. Up like a big bird. Penalty inside the 5 against Graham, who was deemed inside, or should I say in front of the kicker. And Melrose takes the kick for line. It's not a bad kick because he was very close to the touchline and he's gained at least 15 metres. Hambley takes it up for 1 on the blind to the halfway. The Jets working in with Bowden and Rodonicus prominent in exchanges. And here's Tunks, 5 metres short of the halfway mark. 5-2 to South. This is Mario Fennick, who from a distance looks very much like the man he's replaced, Ken Stewart. Coleman works it back to the left, but he's run straight into the ruck.
Niscott lurking up on that blind side, but I noticed that Mike Ross and Stan Brown are the 2 players on the right-hand side of the field, both wingers, of course.
Beautiful kick by Melrose. He bet each way. He simply grubbed along the ground with a long kick that was giving his flankers some opportunity, but at the same time knowing that it was going to beat the fullback to the line. So the scrum goes down just outside the Newtown 22 and won by the Jets. And there's an overlap creating itself with quick passing. McMahon came inside. Man, he's got a floating pass out to Mel Graham. Niscott sends him back in field. Graham goes ahead, but he's covered now. Getting across there by Mark Ross. Sigsworth taken by Simpkins. Rodonicus through Bugden to O'Grady. Taken by Nathan Gibbs and by Shane O'Neill, who continues to work overtime in cover. Rodonicus turning it back for the big man Ellis coming up the centre. Just out from the 22. I'll talk to Bill Anderson in just a matter of seconds, but at the moment he would find it very hard to concentrate on any questions. Bugden. Ooh, Ron Sigsworth went hurtling through. That's the end of 6. Bill, very happy, I would imagine, with the first 20.
Oh, well, it's good to be in front row at this stage, but Newtown are certainly making no mistakes. They're playing well and their defence is quite strong. We only made them unbust. I think we only got into their half once and we came over to try. But they're certainly playing no mistake football. They're building the ball up to us and denting us.
Did you ask Michael how he felt at
yeah, Michael's okay.
I made the comment about this lad, O'Neill, who's in possession. He's been tackling everything bar the referee.
Yeah, he's a top player, Shane.
Well, what's the situation, Bill? Just like you're doing there now, Melrose, get it out of there and play it down here?
Well, they're our tactics at this stage, to get the ball down into the Newtown corner and wait for work from there, possibly come up with a mistake from Newtown and score a try.
Billy, thanks for talking to me. Good luck in the semi-final.
Thank you.
Bill Anderson, coach of South. Ferguson taken to ground by Patterson. Now here's Rodonicus. This is O'Grady. Now Ellis. Tunks around the legs. He got a pass back. It's still play on. Pittman to McMahon, to Murphy, to Graham. Sigsworth's with him. There's trouble coming up. Graham may have made a mess of it here. 8 metres into South territory.
Yes, I think the direct way to the line was the best avenue then for Graham. He certainly had good support there by Sigsworth, but Newtown, they're showing good movement of the ball because they've cleared the ball across the line on a couple of occasions now with McMahon and Murphy coming in out wide.
Rodonicus to O'Grady. And still with O'Grady. Now was Rodonicus. Out to Graham. He's very close to the touchline. Held out there by Mark Ross in combination with Hambley. Rodonicus, blindside for Sigsworth, but he's going to put it up. And he's going to turn Niscott around. Well taken, Ziggy Niscott. Here he comes now. And he's beaten one. Taken by McMahon and Ellis from behind. So Niscott has done very little wrong since he took the field at full back. and an opportunity for him to impress selectors as a utility player. Here's Tunks now, out to the 22. So the dummy half is Fennick. This is Coleman. Now it's with Nathan Gibbs. Nice tackle, Rodonicus. Melrose, blindside for Bryant. Tackled on the 22 line. Now back to the predictable Melrose, sticking to the plan. But Ferguson is going to have a bit of galloping room here. Now they come across. He beats Patterson, but he's picked up in cover by Simpkins. McMahon now. Out to O'Grady. Murphy. That's the halfway line on the right of your screen. Bugden. Short ball for Pittman to go ahead. Rodonicus now standing directly behind the dummy half. Bowden on the right. Steve Bowden now to play it. 32 metres out from the South Sydney line. Rodonicus, O'Grady, back to Rodonicus. This is the Newtown switch. Sigsworth and McMahon has put it down. Souths have got it through Shane Arneal. 5-2, Souths leading. And a long ball to Patterson, off the ground to Niscott. The big man goes ahead. Murphy comes at him with McMahon. Niscott now. Tunks has to go back for it. Gives a pass to Melrose. He gives it to Mark Ross. Ross is making a run of 30 metres up the touchline. Tackled 2 metres short of halfway. Melrose, long ball. Coleman, Fennick, Simpkins. Simpkins to halfway. Cut out pass, picks up Brown. He's around Ferguson. Goes away from his touchline like a good winger. But now he's been forced into touch and a scrum 10 metres Newtown side of the halfway.
Yes, but it's an absorbing struggle out there because we've got a lot of flair in the South Sydney side. They're looking to spin the ball out wide, and of course their forwards are coming under a lot of pressure from Newtown that are playing pretty stereotype football, concentrating on eliminating errors and still working off their forwards. I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't directed their attack towards Patterson, because Patterson obviously has to be suspect because of the injury that he sustained and the way he's coming back. He's playing out very wide in defence with Simpkins inside the line, and obviously the strength of Simpkins is important to South Sydney's cause.
So a differential penalty to the Rabbits. Tony Melrose taking the kicks and finding it 8 metres out from the 22. Coleman, Patterson, Simpkins. No gain in ground, except we're on the other side of it now. Switching it. Patterson, that's Bryant. Nathan Gibbs came up strong, but a beautiful tackle by Rodonicus. Dummy half Fennick. Patterson shows it, turns it. Fennick, but he's ruled it forward. Penalty to Newtown. McMahon now finding touch. 8 metres, South Sydney side of halfway. South tonight have their number one supporter with them here tonight, Don Lane, up from Melbourne, and so too is Newtown, got their number one supporter here tonight. John Singleton, how are you?
Oh, Raymond, it doesn't look too good, mate.
I wouldn't be too worried yet.
I think we've got pretty a reason to, Ray. I think it's pretty obvious to you and Keith by now that Phil Sigsworth is out there out of loyalty to his club, and I don't know whether he's doing his own course much good, is he? He's, mate, he can't walk around the studios, as you know, at 2KY, and I think that South have got so many guys who can make busts and go on with it, and we haven't. I think you might see that at half-time a switch with Kenny Wilson in there and a kicking game instead of this running game.
Well,
you watch Phil now, mate. That's not Phil Sigsworth, is it?
Well, now that you've raised the subject, it's an interesting one, Singo. But Siggy really is lined up against another bloke who also is probably feeling his way around the paddock.
I know, but Phil came into the studio this morning and he walked into the studio and he could, he was limping at a slow walk. So to be out there tonight is course, this unbelievable gust.
So possibly Mark O'Brien at half-time.
I think Kenny Wilson will go the kicking game, I would think, because with Newscott and Simpkins, I think the bust advantage is all with South. We're going to do something different, and Warren will certainly try something different the way it looks now.
Thanks for talking to me, Jono.
Okay, Ray.
Newtown on the attack. They're 12 metres out now. Bowden's the dummy half. In 13. Beating the tackle of Coleman. Carrying 2 men towards the line. Here's a chance for the Jets to grab the lead back. Bugden. Rodonicus. A long ball and a chance with a quick pass. Yes, Graham's in. There's the equaliser. 5 points all now.
Yes, and a very good try too, because they cleared the ball very quickly across the ruck with a quick switch from Rodonicus, and Lance got a very good pass away to Mal Graham out there on the wing, and he gets in behind Ross and was able to get a very good pass away. They certainly caught South unawares on that occasion. I think South were probably in a position where they could have been looking for that bomb a lot earlier than what happened, because it was a good pass from Rodonicus and a very clever pass underneath from Lance. And that'll probably make Singo a little happier.
So then, the kick for goal to be taken by Sigsworth from out on the touchline. With the scoreline at 5-5 now. Half-time tonight, I'll be talking with John Gray, the North hooker. Tonight we've also seen the first of the cheer squad girls in the 1982 Cheer Girl Championship, sponsored by Tooth and Company. 11 of the 14 premiership sides have entered this championship. As we just pause and wait for Sigsworth now. Difficult kick for the man. It hasn't got the length, so the scoreline remains at 5-all in the first semi-final. Tonight, we saw displays from Balmain, Canberra, Newtown and South, with the balance doing their routine during the second semi-final next week, and then the 3 finalists will be here on Cup final night. Of course, our thanks goes to our major sponsor, Tooth and Company, for their support in giving the girls some measure of appreciation in the job they do at the premiership matches throughout the year. Graham, the try scorer, plays it. Rom Sigsworth beats one, gets a pass down, but Bugden's put it on the deck, and it's a scrum. 32 metres out from the Newtown line. One try, 1 goal apiece. Same tunnel. In again for a Newtown win, but he wants it again now, Gosha. And he won't let this one go without a penalty, or at least a clean decision. He's got a decision. Rodonicus cuts out one. Sigsworth calls his brother up, and he's tackled 32 metres out from his own line. Out it comes to Bowden now, taken by Arneal. Dummy half is O'Grady. This is Rodonicus. Now Sigsworth. It's out to Lance. A slip of a pass then to Murphy. Coleman was around the legs. Out now to Sigsworth. Pittman going back into the forward brigade. He's had it taken from him by Simpkins legally. Turns it back inside to Brown. He's away from one, but he's met now by the forwards coming across, Ellis and Bugden. 5 metres into Newtown's territory. Long ball out to Patterson, standing very, very wide, and Dean Lance was up there quickly with McMahon to make the tackle. Here's Arneal. Tackled right on halfway. 4 minutes of the second quarter remain now. Coleman works it blind, picks up Ross. Ross comes to Graham, and he's got him safely parcelled up on the halfway line. Right in front of the scoreboard. And there goes Peter Tunks, barging his way and sprinting now a good 30 metres up to the Newtown 22. Last tackle. Tunks fooled everybody with that little sprint up a very narrow blind. Milrose takes the tackle, and that's the end of 6 for the scrum to pack down. .55. 3 minutes to go, second quarter. And a penalty to South. He's talking to Bowden about the manner in which he was locking into the scrum. So Melrose will find touch, and it'll give Souths an opportunity to put points on the board as we breast up to half-time.
Yes, and when you look at it, of course, South Sydney, apart from the time when they did score the try, they haven't been in Newtown's court. I can't remember. I can't recollect them being down there.
Neil now to play it. That's the 22 line. Here goes Hambley. He's only about 18 metres out from the line. Fennick is the dummy half. This is Coleman. Now Patterson. Run round. Coleman. And tackled. Still 18 out. The Newtown defence. Broken once and a try came. Patterson shows it and tries to run it. Still 18 out. 2 minutes from the break. Fennick picks up Melrose. A sweep of a pass to Niscott. Niscott calls his winger inside him. The ball's on the deck. And Gosha says, Newtown ball. Away goes Ferguson. Tackled by Coleman. Rodonicus. Lance. Picked up in cover by Hambley. Penalty 6-5 to Souths. Scrums 5-4 to Souths. Played by Bugden. This is Ellis. And the last now for Newtown. McMahon gets his kick in, but the stands up for Stan Brown. Hit by Rodonicus and brings a roar from the Newtown supporters. Niscott also tackled by Rodonicus, so they've used up 2 tackles, the Rabbits. And Rodonicus knocking them down. Simpkins. Almost through. A chip of a kick across by Coleman. Sees Bryant going across, but O'Grady's in possession. And tackled. Hand lost it. Souths have it, but it's a penalty to Newtown. Stealing the ball, the ruling. Interesting to note that since Tommy Rodonicus, that man at the bottom of your screen, since he returned in 8 matches playing thirds, seconds and firsts, Newtown in those divisions have been unbeaten. Seconds from half-time. And Newtown setting it up. But just a quick lunge before the break. O'Grady, Murphy, Rodonicus, Sigsworth, cuts out McMahon, picks up Ron Sigsworth. Beautiful tackle, Simpkins. Copybook tackle. Ferguson. Murphy speeding onto it. Tackled 32 metres out now. Gibbs and Arneal, the chief tacklers. Bowden goes ahead. Timepiece indicates that the quarter is over. Gosha says that's exactly right, and it is over. We're at half-time in the first semi-final of the KB Cup 82, with Newtown and Souths locked at 5 points all. Well now, before we talk with John Gray, let's take a look at the fabulous prizes that come each and every week from National Panasonic and Electronic Sales and Rentals for tonight's man of the match. So welcome back now, the third quarter, first semi-final. Everything square at the moment. Half-time penalties 6 apiece. Scrums 5-4 to South. Scoreline 5-all. Phil Gould is on for Newtown.
Steve Bowden off. That's a big loss for them. I noticed that Bowden got injured right on half-time.
Taking it ahead is Nathan Gibbs now. Whereas Bowden might be a loss as far as stature and his front row experience is concerned, this man making the tackle in 16, Phil Gould, is a very polished ball player. Melrose. Clearing Keck, well positioned between fullback and winger. Ferguson going back for it, a long chase back to his own line. And the tackle's been made 12 metres out from the Newtown line. Ferguson losing a shoe in the process. Dean Lance, the man who made that final pass that saw Newtown equalise. Now Rodonicus. Phil Sigsworth still on the field. Just inside 22. Pittman. Now Gould. Getting back for it is Ross in company with Niscott. And the representative wing three-quarter makes the run back. Taken by Cole Murphy. Ross heading for the ground in a hurry. Bugden, the tackler, with Murphy. Out to Coleman. Now to Fennick. Short ball there for Arneal. Coleman. Patterson. Now Fennick. This is Tunks. Gould sweeping it quickly back to O'Grady. That's a penalty to South against O'Grady for running around behind Bugden. And so Melrose will find touch. And a rather fortunate one for Newtown. See it again. No dispute about it. A fortunate one for Souths with Peter Tunks frittering away possession. That's a good touch. In fact, it was a good save by Mal Graham. And a knock-on is ordered by Gosha. Touch judge did well too. I thought for a moment he may have indicated the ball was touched before crossing the line. But the man was never off the field of play, Graham. So Newtown having the dickens of a time getting in. Gosha gives the penalty to Newtown.
Yes, and that's 3 mistakes on the trot as far as South Sydney are concerned. Of course, we saw Tunks drop the ball. We saw South fail to find touch, and then we see them give away a penalty. So Billy Henderson wouldn't be too happy with the opening couple of minutes here in relation to the errors that South Sydney have committed.
So Alan McMahon now. He doesn't kick the ball that far. Does he, Keith?
Not into a guile.
Up goes Ellis now. Tackled 11 metres into South territory. Here's Gould. Short ball for Murphy. Gould again. McMahon turned on the inside. A flick pass for Rodonicus. He's lost it, Rodonicus. Hambley to play it. No, he's not lost it. My apologies. Pittman now. 12 metres out from the 22 line. Gould. Looking to turn South around. That he's done. There's a few Newtown players offside, but Niscott has run the ball.
Well, it's good tactics as far as Newtown are concerned, of course. They've got the defence to keep South Sydney pinned in their own quarter, and obviously this is Ryan's tactics, that he wants to get the play down into their territory. I just don't know whether Souths have got the power to run it out. Certainly they've got some big men, but this Newtown defence is particularly solid. I'd just like to see South Sydney, not in this area though, but when they get up around the halfway mark, I'd like to see them use that little chip a little bit more and get it away from O'Grady, kicking towards the touchline. I think they might disrupt that Newtown defence.
Here's Patterson. Finding Nathan Gibbs, but the defence up very quickly. Lance and Sigsworth. Melrose got his kick in sweetly, sending Graham across for it. Straight between fullback and winger again. And Ron Sigsworth to bring it out. Straight into the waiting arms of Patterson and Shane Arneal. Here's O'Grady. Now McMahon. Touched by South, but that'll be fine. There's a chance on. O'Grady's got him covered. Mark Ross into touch just outside the 22. Just for a fleeting second, I thought Mark Ross may have had a passage down that flank, but O'Grady, ever present, was there to snuff it out. And Newtown win the scrum. Rodonicus held by Arneal and Coleman. 7-7 the penalties, 5-5 the scrums, 5-5 the score. I suppose you could say it's close. Pittman now. Oh, that's a South ball. Costly mistake by the Jets. This man's played well. He mightn't have the illustrious name of some of his teammates, but gee, he's got through some work. Mario Fennick, Bryant. 24 metres out from the Newtown line. The next team to score certainly will be looking to shut this game down as much as they can. In other words, they're going to be very hard to keep out. Patterson.
A lot of depth in their attack there, and of course that's what they want. Spin the ball out wide, attempting to get away from that Newtown defence in the middle of the field.
Arneal. 30 metres out. Tunks. Out to Coleman. Now to Fennick. Now to Melrose. Hit by Mel Graham. That's how much panic was on. The winger had to come in field. Coleman. Up goes the bomb. All the South players are onside. Knocked back. This will be a South ball. And it's Fennick tackled on the end of 6. Scrum 5 metres inside the 22. Well, the crowd are booing. Referee Gosha indicating to his back, probably indicating that the Newtown player didn't play at the ball.
Oh, that's a good scrum for South to win too.
Patterson has tidied up. Out to Coleman. Niscott bursting. Got a pass back now for Shane Arneal to go ahead. 10 metres out is Arneal. One of South's better players, in my opinion. Fennick, Tunks, takes it up, finds Patterson. Swallowed by Sigsworth in cover. Patterson looks at him. Coleman, a dummy half. Melrose. Melrose turns it. Inside, finds Simpkins. Simpkins pops a pass down. It's still with Souths, and I don't know whether it's 6 more. No, it's not. Tunks has been told to play it. Fennick is the dummy half. This is Coleman. On the blind side came Nathan Gibbs, and a beautiful covering tackle out there by Alan McMahon. Turned inside to Coleman. Up goes the Rabbits with a bomb. And up they fly. Sigsworth lost it. Grounded by Mark Ross. He's going to give a try. He's given a try to South. Souths have scored. Newtown appealing. Basically screaming at the referee as if to say, you've made an awful mistake. Let's see the replay. Touch judge in to make a report as the Coleman bomb went up. Now, who did it come off? It certainly appeared that it came off a South Sydney set of hands, and Mark Ross grounds the ball. Would you like to see it again? Let's do it again then. While Tony Melrose prepares to take the conversion, which we'll stay with, let's see the head-on replay of that again. Plenty of time. Try as desperately as you can to freeze it at the point of contact with these fingertips. Up goes Ron Sigsworth in 1. There is a hand in there belonging to Gary Hambley, or at least a South player. There were 2 Newtown players up, 1 South player up, and it's touch and go. But Gosha was on the spot and ruled a try, without any hesitation, I might add.
Yeah, certainly, and the evidence of either replay, I don't think it was conclusive either way.
Melrose now with a chance to boot Souths to a 10-5 lead. Ten to go, third quarter. Melrose just wipes his brow, walks into it, hits it, he's hooked it, and missed it. Well, that's a costly miss by Tony Melrose. Again, a reminder that our second semi-final next Wednesday night is probably the biggest semi-final that the Cup has seen in 9 years, when Parramatta meets Manly to join the winner of tonight's match in the Cup final on August 11. And a knock-on from the kickoff by Souths. Stan Brown. Could that be marked down as the turning point when we look back? Could it be a missed conversion attempt? a knock-on from the kick-off, and then a differential penalty from the ensuing scrum. I wonder. Phil Sigsworth now to take the kick for line. So Newtown will set one up.
Yes, and they've got a host of moves too from these tap penalties.
It's lost on the first tackle. Coming out of it injured is Harry Bryant. Where's the ball? There's a fight going on in the background. Hambley and a Newtown player are entangled. Players come to a halt. Touch judge in. Hambley and Pittman. But the man lying on the ground is Harry Bryant. Only thing I can assure you about Harry is they're not fighting over you at the moment. He seemed to get an injury out of that move from Newtown that went ahead like, you know, he's called for a stretcher. Don't tell me there's a break there. South trainer has called for a stretcher. Hambley and Pittman just came out of that wrestling around on the ground like it was a fight to the end. They didn't really care where the ball was. Meantime, I think the Warriors in the Latcham Robinson stand have got a bit restless too. I've got a funny feeling that they've decided to exchange punches. In fact, my good mate Don Lane, you better get up here, son, before you're in trouble. Yeah, I'll see you back in Melbourne, Don's saying. I'm off. I don't blame you, buddy. Get out of here as quick as you can. Well, now, Harry Bryant's been taken from the field, whilst I think a couple of our patrons will be taken from the Latcham Robinson stand. And a penalty goes to Newtown. They're going to kick for goal. That's unfortunate for Harry Bryant.
It's unfortunate for Souths too, to a certain extent, because the player they omitted from the play was Metcalf.
Bryant has only been back this year after 2 years out of the game with knee problems, and it would seem that that's what's wrong over there at the moment. Well, now the Wolves have been fed in the Latcham Robinson stand where this eruption occurred that we didn't have enough cameras to cover, really. We ran out of cameras here. Don Lane looked like Fred Henneberry there for a moment. Phil Gould now, the new goal kicker. 10 metres in from touch on the 22. A chance to bring Newtown back within a point. And then you know what had happened, don't you? If it was still 8-7 in the last quarter, they'd bring a bloke called Wilson on for sure. Gould. Nice looking kick, but I think he's hooked it. He has. No goal. South 8. Newtown 5. 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Drop out by Melrose. Straight down centre ground. Nicely taken by the big man Ellis. Ron Sigsworth, who I must say runs very hard and tonight has made a lot of impact. Now let's see who Souths have sent out there.
David Boyle, I think.
Yes, it is. David Boyle has been sent into the play. Tackled is Dean Lance. Bugden. Gould. Tackler was Boyle. Bugden. Rodonicus. O'Grady. Midway 22, halfway south end of the paddock, and this is the last. The cross kick bomb by Phil Gould, but you'll find that Newtown players are offside. They're not now. He played at it, and the ball was knocked on by Stan Brown, who's had a horror third quarter. Well, as people querying the decision, I realized Brown was facing back towards his own goal line, but the point is that he knocked the ball and projected it towards his opponent's goal line. And that's a knock-on as O'Grady goes towards the line. It's to where the ball was projected. It doesn't matter which way you're facing. Ron Sigsworth is a metre from the line now. Newtown coming back. Rodonicus standing within a metre of the line. Rodonicus will play it to Phil Sigsworth. He dummies, he's over. Phil Sigsworth has levelled the scoreline at 8 points all now. South's becoming very fragile as the pressure was applied by the Jets. And almost certainly we'll see Newtown go to the third quarter break, leading by 10 points to 8.
Yes, it was a pretty simple try, wasn't it, going from a dummy half position like that. Obviously, South Sydney have themselves to blame because they've been guilty of numerous errors that have allowed Newtown to continually apply the pressure. And certainly in a situation like that, it was a very, very soft try, as they say in the trade, and Billy Anderson would be disgusted with South Sydney's efforts there.
Peter Tunks was drawn in by a Phil Sigsworth dummy, and he left the position that he probably should have been occupying. So Newtown are getting another replacement ready. It's Ken Wilson. Ken Wilson has been sent onto the field. And it'll be Tommy Rodonicus to come off. Three minutes from three-quarter time. Phil Gould attempting conversion. No, he's missed it! Well, the question I've got to ask is, if Warren Ryan was going to throw Ken Wilson into the game, he may have well have sent him in at the moment the try was scored and let him take the kick at goal.
Yes, well, I don't think even Warren Ryan in his wildest dreams would have imagined that Phil Gould would have missed that one. I agree with Wilson coming into the game.
Well, hang on a moment. It may be well that there's a rule that says he can't do that. I think there is from memory. But you're right. I'm sure you're right. Warren wouldn't have dreamt that Phil Gould could have missed that conversion attempt. Whether he could have used Ken or not is irrelevant. But I think you'll find there is a rule stacked away in the book there somewhere, Keith.
I can't see why, because you can put a replacement on any time during the game, and while the player's having the kick at goal and the referee hasn't called time off, the game is continuing. I think there is a rule there that covers it, though.
Well, let's hang on a moment here. Pittman now to play the ball. 10 metres his own side of halfway. Wilson will keep turning them around now. Souths are going to be doing plenty of playing in their own 22. 8-8, and there'll be drop goal attempt after drop goal attempt, I suppose. Harry Bryant has a knee injury that has been confirmed from the rooms. 2 minutes out from three-quarter time break. David Boyle now. Tunks. Oh dear, they've made some mistakes in this third quarter, South. Pittman. 32 metres out now. Ken Wilson. Dean Lance. Taken by Boyle and Patterson. McMahon. Thrusting it towards the 22. Lance again. They may be setting it up for a drop goal even now. The last tackle's been called. Back it goes for Kenny Wilson. He was going to. He still gets his kick in, but it's under the crossbar. Under the heading of substitutes, I've just opened up this magic book. If a substitution is effective when a kick at goal is to be taken, the substitute shall not be allowed to take the kick. Well, I guess that answers that question. So now, Mark Ross plays it. Coleman, Gibbs. That brick wall is still there. It's not about to move. Fennick. 5 metres from the halfway mark. Seconds of the third quarter remaining, and still we're deadlocked at 8-8. Coleman spears a torpedo towards the touchline and finds touch, but the scrum won't have time to be packed. Penalties, 9-7 to Newtown. Scrum, 6-5 to Souths. Scoreline, 8-8. And what a semi-final. Well, in just a moment, Keith will be talking to John Gray about this first semi-final here tonight. Here we go now. Final 20 minutes. Welcome back. Newtown, left to right. Wilson kicking off. And, oh, will he find touch? He's got a knock-on out of it. So Stan Brown in quarter number 3 and the start of quarter number 4 has been responsible for 3 knock-ons, and that must be a worry to the youngster. Souths have been doing a lot of work inside their own 22 for the last 20 minutes. Niscott is tackled on that 22 line. Craig Coleman passes to Michael Patterson. Patterson, a swerving run, carrying him out to about 26 meters from his own line. Hambley, 32 meters out now. 8 points all in a quarter where we're going to see plenty of attempts at field goal, you would think. Melrose, straight down the center of the field. Penalties at the moment favor Newtown 9-7. Let me point out the tries are level, the scores are level, and the penalty countback rules apply. So at this stage, if the match was blown up, Newtown would be the winner. Here's Ellis now. Tackled 32 meters out from his line. He's got a cramp. Gosha calls timeout. The Commonwealth Bank Cup fixture played earlier tonight as Billy Anderson looks on. I don't know whether that V for victory is any omen that he's forming with those fingers. But the Commonwealth Bank Cup fixture that we'll be showing on Sunday morning in 10's World of League, and undoubtedly you'll be seeing it on O in Brisbane, is the Toowoomba High School playing Patrician Brothers Fairfield. Fairfield won the match quite easily, but it was a good match with some wonderful tries, and we'll follow that, of course, in the World of League with the replay of the Saturday match between Easts and Norths. Graham O'Grady now tackled. About 30 meters out from his line. Gould putting it back into South territory. Getting under it is Mark Ross. That wasn't a good kick by Gould. And Mark Ross has got play to the halfway. It's just going to be a case with both these sides of getting it into a kicking area for Ken Wilson and for Tony Melrose. Shane Arneal turning it for Mario Fennick to take it just into Newtown's half. Now it's with Coleman. Long ball for Niscott, taken by Dean Lance, whose defense has been a feature of this game. He's made some wonderful hits out there. From dummy half goes Brown. Niscott, a dummy half. Coleman, Patterson. Long ball for Melrose. A sweeping pass out to Mark Ross. Going, I thought he was going to go away from his touch line, but he's been tackled and put into touch.
Again, a great tackle by Lanes.
The scrum will go down 8 meters on the Newtown side of halfway. Penalties are of vital importance at the moment. Wilson working it. Penalty to Newtown. Against South for collapsing. So the penalty count in itself is an ominous one for South Sydney. Ken Wilson finding touch. 15 meters from the South's quarter. Mel Graham taking it up for one. There'll probably be a couple of more forwards take it up. Oh, Craig Ellis almost put it down. Wilson. Phil Sigsworth. Now it's more into a kicking area for Wilson. In fact, he may even want it now. Gould. That's only 4. He may go for it on 4. Here he is now, on 4. And no goal. Offline, back to the 22 for the place kick restart at the middle of the field. Stewart is on, Fennick is off. So the regular South's captain is back on the field. Tunks, 3 metres from the 22. Ken Stewart, Coleman, Simpkins. 8 points all. Newtown at the moment leading by 3 penalties. David Boyle. Cuts out Hambley, gets it to Melrose. A nice left footer. Graham goes back for it. Flying through is Patterson. He scored a try. I'll never forget it in a cup match here one night under similar circumstances. Sigsworth. They're down on their own 22.
Souths have got to keep them there too and hope that they can get possession.
Bugden. O'Grady. 32 metres out from the Newtown line. What a finish. Wilson. Sigsworth. Beating 1, beating 2, standing but down in the 3rd. Tackler was Coleman. 8 metres from the halfway. Wilson grubbing for touch. And Niscott is into touch with the ball. A scrum. 26 metres out from the South Sydney line now. 6 minutes gone, final quarter.
Possession very important from this scrum, of course.
Penalty to
Newtown.
Newtown.
That's just as bad as far as South Sydney's concerned, isn't it? No, because they'll get into a situation where at least they can play into an area where Wilson's going to be attempting another field goal. Obvious tactics.
Well, it's got to the stage now that Souths have to score. A draw, looking at this penalty count anyway, realistically, a draw is no good to Souths. It means a loss.
There's a tremendous amount of pressure on South Sydney now because they know that Newtown will play into a situation where Wilson will be attempting a field goal, and this is areas, of course, where they will be getting up very quickly inside the 5, and they have to be wary that they don't give away a penalty as well.
Ellis thrashing his way to within 9 metres of the South Sydney line. Sigsworth. It could well be, don't forget, that Newtown may utilise his talent as a drop goal exponent. Gould within 3 metres. Newtown setting it up. That's Ron Sigsworth now. Over the line, but can't get it down. Last tackle. Phil Gould is the dummy half. The pass to Ken Wilson, a long ball out. Craig Ellis is tackled. Good defence, Souths. Look at that scoreline. 8 points all. Scrum 7-5 to Souths. Penalties 11-7 to Newtown. Tries at 2 apiece. Newtown scrum win. Wilson. Oh, he passes, hoping to find John Ferguson. But he found the South Sydney winger Brown. Away comes Shane Arneal with a good run. Out to the 20-metre line. Just short of 22-metre. Stewart on it now. A match with all the excitement of a cup final. Being played as the first semi-final of the KB Cup. Arneal to play it. Stewart is ruck half. A gain of 6. That's 5. Melrose will call for it. It's out to him now. A change of tactics. The bounce of the ball favours Newtown, and Dean Lance takes it to ground. Sigsworth. O'Grady. That's Ron Sigsworth. Souths, as you can appreciate, much slower to come up in defence now. Newtown are bunching as the toll is starting to tell now on both sides. Gould to play it. That's the halfway line. Pittman. 5 metres on south side of halfway. Wilson shooting for touch. That's going way, way down towards the corner post. And saved by Stan Brown. Away from one, but picked up in cover eventually. Niscott. Tackled by O'Grady. 2 tackles gone against the Rabbits. Arneal makes it 3. O'Grady again the tackler. Tunks. That's 4. Tackler was Ellis.
Tremendous defensive effort by Newtown.
Stewart passes. And Nathan Gibbs tries to make the bust. That's 5. Melrose must clear now. Here he is. There it goes. Torpedoing over the head of Mel Graham. The wingers and flankers are coming down quickly on Graham. He's lost the ball. South had knocked on. Patterson didn't touch it. He would have been offside had he of.
That was a great chance for South Sydney because they're not going to get many opportunities down inside Newtown's half. And certainly if you hark back through the entire period of this match, Newtown...
Penalty to South, differential. Blatant second row feed by Kenny Wilson. Sorry, Keith.
No, I'm just saying that territorially it's been all Newtown. Souths have been camped inside their territory for practically the entire game, but now this gives them the opportunity. We saw Wilson waste an opportunity of attempting a field goal just a couple of minutes ago when they utilised the 6th tackle. Let's see what Souths do.
So it's Gary Hambley wedging it up towards centre field. He'll play it 15 metres from the Newtown line. Stewart, still 15 out. Tackler was Cole Murphy, together with Craig Ellis. Back for Melrose. His shot at drop goal is there, I think. No, it's wide. Oh, how close did they go?
Yes, it was, but he had plenty of time there. He wasn't under the pressure that Wilson was under.
Mainly because South decided to take it on one of the early tackles.
Yes, plus the fact that Melrose got back very deep. And I'd say he wouldn't be too happy with missing that one.
Oh, looking at that head-on shot of the drop goal attempt has got me even more baffled. I certainly haven't got time to go back and freeze it, not at this point in time. But begorra, I would like to. Dean Lance now, 5 metres out from the 22. Here's Bugden, 15 out from the 22. Ron Sigsworth. Wilson calling Sigsworth up the centre. Last tackle gone for the Jets. Wilson will probably look for the touchline. Here he is. A sweep of a pass picked up by Graham. And another scrum to go down. 12 metres, Newtown side of halfway.
Yes, I think I'd still be inclined to use the boot of Alan McMahon in situations like that and get it deep down into South Sydney's territory because possession from South Sydney here, or to South Sydney here, and I'd be very surprised if Melrose isn't having another shot because he can kick them from 45, 50 yards without any trouble. Field goals I'm talking about.
Gosha's calling the scrum in field. Let me check accurately the time. 7.5 minutes to go. And a penalty to Newtown. Feet across against Stewart. Evans above, what a finish. 17 goes out for Newtown to replace Phil Gould. The man is John Mackay, and Newtown gets another penalty. An incorrect feed by Coleman, who's given away heaps and heaps of penalties. 7 of them in all for incorrectly feeding the scrum.
Well, I asked Johnny Gray at three-quarter time who he thought would win. He said it was going to be a draw, and I accused him of sitting on the fence. It looks as if he was right.
Bugden to take the tap and takes it himself. That's John Mackay on in 17. O'Grady.
Tim Wilson can't get a better shot than from there, could he?
Running with it is Ron Sigsworth. 9 metres from the South Sydney line. The Rabbits appear gone. Maybe not on the scoreboard, but on the penalty count back system, which seems a shame, I agree. Wilson, drop goal, charge down. 6 more. Murphy.
He's had a strong game for Newtown this evening, Lance. Got through a tremendous amount of work.
That siren must be seconds away as Mackay is tackled. 2 metres out from the line. Sigsworth! Very close to the line. Our clock has expired, so we must be in injury time. Ellis tackled 3 metres out. Newtown have lost it. Ziggy Niscott is tackled 15 metres out. The siren has sounded. The match is over.
Oh, yeah.